Imagine uncovering the truth behind one of the most iconic and mysterious lives of the 20th century, straight from her closest family. For years, the public has seen glimpses of Princess Diana. The shy smile, the charitable heart, the heartbreaking moments played out on the world stage. But now, for the first time in decades, someone who is truly by her side from childhood through fame, pain, and legacy has stepped forward. Lady Sarah McCorquodale, Diana's elder sister, has chosen to speak, not with scandal, but with honesty, memory, and love. What really happened behind palace walls? How did the royal image differ from the deeply personal truth? And how much did her sister see, feel, and try to protect? Sarah McCorquodale, now 60, has largely stayed away from public attention. But her bond with Diana was unshakable. Born 6 years before her sister, she witnessed firsthand the transformation of a playful, soft-hearted girl into a global symbol of beauty, vulnerability, and rebellion. Their story begins long before cameras followed Diana's every step, back in the shadowed corridors of Park House on the Queen's Sandringham estate, where aristocracy met emotional turbulence. Their parents, John Spencer and Frances Shand Kidd, held noble titles but struggled in their marriage. When they divorced in 1969, it wasn't just a legal split, it shattered the family's emotional balance. Diana was only 8. The heartbreak of choosing between parents and adjusting to a new stepmother deeply affected her. It was Sarah who tried, quietly but fiercely, to protect her younger sister from the emotional wreckage. As Diana grew, Sarah continued to act as a support system. Their father's marriage to the Countess of Derby added more friction, as the children never fully accepted her. Diana's childhood, while surrounded by privilege, lacked the warmth and consistency she craved. This emotional void shaped her sensitivity and longing for real, lasting love. Sarah saw it all: how her sister hid her hurt, how she tried to cope with a life that, even in its early stages, felt unpredictable. Yet amid these struggles, Diana found a quiet strength and a sense of purpose that would later define her in the public eye. In her teenage years, Diana started to shape her own identity. She loved dance, music, and sports. She studied at Westheath School, where her charm began to blossom. Though she carried an air of quietness, those close to her knew she had a deep well of emotions. Her decision to move to London as a young woman opened new doors, and it was during this time, while living with Sarah, that fate took an unexpected turn. In 1977, a royal hunting trip brought Prince Charles to their family home in Althorpe. Diana was just 16. Charles, then nearly 30, had originally dated Sarah, a little-known fact that adds another layer of complexity to the story. That meeting would alter history. Charles found Diana to be sweet, quiet, and from noble roots, ideal for royal duty. Diana, still so young, was enchanted by the attention of a prince. Their courtship unfolded under the intense glare of royal expectation. Diana's innocence and aristocratic background made her appear perfect on paper. But beneath the tiaras and gowns, cracks were forming. The public adored their fairy tale wedding in 1981, but Sarah, watching from the sidelines, had her doubts. She had once dated Charles and knew the complexities of his world. She also knew her sister's emotional depth, which might not have survived in such a rigid institution. As the years went on, her concerns turned out to be well-founded. The heart of Diana's pain was Charles's lingering relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles. It wasn't just a rumor, it was a reality that shaped the emotional climate of Diana's marriage. She felt betrayed, isolated, and trapped. The royal family's culture of emotional restraint left little room for open conversations about feelings. Diana's attempts to express her struggles were often misunderstood or met with cold distance. The Queen, although initially welcoming due to Diana's noble lineage, found Diana's open tears and emotional transparency difficult to process. Diana was the opposite of what royalty was trained to be. She wore her heart on her sleeve. Sarah, though married and raising her own family, remained a presence in Diana's life. She attended official visits, including the royal tour to Nepal. But even she couldn't shield Diana from the judgment of others in the royal family. Princess Anne, known for her stoicism and private life, reportedly clashed with Diana's public presence. Their differences were stark, and believed in staying out of the spotlight, while Diana, by circumstance and nature, became its focus. Princess Margaret, who had once supported Diana, turned away after Diana's infamous 1995 BBC Panorama interview. That moment of truth-telling, which included references to Charles's affair and Diana's own struggles, was seen as a break from royal loyalty. Margaret even went as far as to destroy letters from Diana, cutting off ties completely. Even those who seemed to understand her, like Prince Philip, walked a tightrope. His letters to Diana were sometimes comforting, other times critical. He wanted to support her, but also uphold the family's image. It was a complicated balancing act. Diana's friendship with Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York, followed a similar trajectory. They shared laughs, inside jokes, and sisterly moments, but as public attention grew, so did misunderstandings, rumors, and painful remarks that damaged their bond. Yet through it all, Diana's anchor remained her two sons. She adored William and Harry and wanted more than anything to give them a life rooted in love, empathy, and humanity. She broke traditions deliberately, taking them to amusement parks, letting them eat fast food, walk through crowded streets, and meet people from all walks of life. Sarah recalled how fiercely protective Diana was of her boys, especially from the pressures of their royal identity. Diana wanted them to feel real love, not duty-bound affection. That maternal warmth was something Sarah admired and continues to speak about with emotion. Then came that devastating night in August 1997. Diana's car crash in Paris left the world in shock. Questions swirled. Why wasn't she wearing a seatbelt? How did things unravel so fast? Sarah, who knew how strict Diana was about safety, was haunted by these questions. In the new documentary honoring Diana's life, Sarah shares how difficult those final hours were, not just in their horror, but in the confusion that followed. Rumors said Diana had survived, that she was going to be okay. Then came the news no one was ready to believe. Diana was gone. And just like that, the world lost not just a princess, but a mother, a sister, and a deeply emotional soul. For years, Sarah kept her silence, choosing privacy over public comment. But now, she's opening the door to truths long buried under gossip and media frenzy. She admits that she often wonders if things could have been different, especially since she was the one who introduced Diana to Charles. That thought weighs on her. What if she had done things differently? Could Diana have lived a different life, one without the same pressures, betrayals, and sadness? But there's no turning back time. What remains is memory. And through Sarah's words, we get a version of Diana that no camera ever captured. Diana's humanitarian work didn't just earn headlines, it changed the way the world viewed the royal family. She hugged AIDS patients when others were afraid to be near them. She walked through minefields with unwavering courage. Her work was not for show, it was born from a place of real compassion, and Sarah knew it. That's why, even in moments of private despair, Diana continued to give so much of herself. Because she truly believed in love, connection, and the importance of being seen and heard. Even in death, Diana's story isn't just about tragedy. It's about strength. It's about someone who dared to be emotional in a place where feelings were often hidden. It's about someone who loved deeply, even when love wasn't returned the way she needed. Her legacy lives on in her sons, who continue to speak about her with respect and pride. Prince Harry, in particular, has been vocal about how Diana's spirit continues to guide him and how her resilience inspires the path he walks today. As Charles becomes king and Camilla now holds the title of queen consort, the royal family looks different than it once did. But Diana's impact remains undeniable. She brought humanity into royalty. She brought warmth to a cold institution. And through Sarah's brave decision to share her story, we get a fuller picture of the woman behind the crown. A sister, a mother, a soul that still echoes in the hearts of millions. If this story moved you, if you felt closer to understanding the real Diana, We invite you to support the channel by liking this video and subscribing. There's still so much to learn, to feel, and to remember, and we'll be here to bring those voices forward.